Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to a brand new TW9 video. We're off the back of a very successful Wrestledream pay-per-view and we are now fully on the road to Full Gear. I put the card together, I'm quite happy with it, so it's up to me now to try and make sure over the next 4 or 5 weeks that we have the best storylines and can really kick on with a great show. Well, lots of great shows there, just to keep growing the company. So hopefully you've been having fun. And without further ado, let's jump straight into this week's AEW Dynamite. So we start the show with our authority figure in AEW, which is Scott D'Amore. He says, "What a show we had last Sunday. AEW Wrestledream was truly a dream for true pure wrestling fans, as we saw many great matches from our ever so talented roster. However, we cannot lie on this. We must continue this upwards trend. So I'm here with some mega announcements. Starting from tonight, we will see two men who featured in a match on Sunday, a tag match. It'll take place tonight. It'll be Kyle Fletcher versus Shelton Benjamin in one-on-one competition. Our main event tonight, we'll see Kenny Omega defend his AEW Continental Championship against Big Brody King. And then this Saturday on Collision, 3 undecided men will take part in a triple threat match, with the winner going to Full Gear to battle Okada for the AEW World Championship. The triple threat match I've got planned is mega. I cannot wait for it, and hopefully should kick off a few things on the road to Full Gear. But overall, 47. Tag scene storyline lost a bit of heat, obviously, between Aussie Open and the Hurt Syndicate. But yeah, pretty much. Okay, D'Amore's never going to have a fantastic rating at this point in the save. Your opening contest of the evening was a decent matchup that saw Mark Briscoe defeat Mike Bailey in 12:34 with a Froggy Bow. I was intrigued to see how these two done style-wise, but 64 overall is pretty good. Mike Bailey with a 63 to Mark Briscoe's 58. Then with some words from Mark Briscoe, I'll need to start this as a storyline. But he just says, "Now people are wondering why I did what I did to Will Ospreay on Sunday. If you people really want to know, then tough shit. I'll tell you when I tell Will Ospreay to his face, and guess what? That sumbitch ain't here tonight." So simple promo, kind of that way as well, where it shows that Ospreay's maybe selling a few injuries. But a 61, of course, Mark Briscoe turning on Will Ospreay after the trios match. Next up, during the upcoming contest, we will see Paul Heyman, Ua, and Ricochet looking for a monitor to watch the matchup. So 67, pretty okay stuff there. And the matchup was about that had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from our audience as the Lucha Brothers defeated Alex Reynolds and John Silver in 9:02 when Penta defeated Alex Reynolds with the assisted Fear Factor. In ring, Rey Fenix was up at 97. Incredible, looked good out there. But yeah, 70 overall. I think it gives you an idea of where we're going with our next tag championship match. Some words from the Bastard Nicks. "For far too long I've stood here without any gold around my waist. Well, no longer. This company is on notice. Champions are on notice. Because the bastard wants gold, and the bastard knows whose gold he's taking." So Pac will be challenging for a championship at Full Gear. But who? We'll find out in the upcoming weeks. 71. Then had some trios action in our women's division. This one was a decent matchup. The team of Chris Statlander, Priscilla Kelly and Megan Bain defeated Becky Quinn, Athena and Billy Starks in 9:48 when Megan Bain submitted Billy Starks after blatantly cheating. I made this our storytelling matchup. We had Mercedes Moné distract Becky before the finish. That obviously helped the heels win. Overall, the matchup was a 68. Your weakest competitor was Priscilla Kelly with a 52. And the strongest Becky Quinn, 73, although it must be said, good stuff from Statlander at a 67. After the matchup, Becky Quinn gives us a few words. "Mercedes, you have royally pissed me off now, costing me matches after you locked in and beat Willow on Sunday. Well, you and your little corporation is cute, but just wait to meet Io, Jamie and Willow get together, then you'll have the money to pay, as the ass that gets kicked belongs to Mercedes Moné." Just try to use her catchphrase there. But basically, I'm setting up for something quite big in the women's division for the World Championship at Full Gear. Just teasing a wee bit between Becky and Mercedes. 88 segments, perfect. That'll be our top segment of the night, I'm assuming. So it's up to our main event to deliver as well. Poor Royal Brawl, Daniel Garcia defeated Mike Bennett in 8:46 by submission with a sharpshooter. Basically just a win to give Garcia momentum. Not two wrestlers you would associate with a Wild Brawl, so that's obviously affected them. But still, Garcia brought a 66 and a 59 segment overall. Backstage though, he bumps into Sammy Guevara and he says, "Yo Sammy, just look at what those words by Joe are doing for me. My confidence is sky high and I feel I can take on anyone. Honestly bro, just believe in yourself and the sky is the limit." So a 68 segment and the Backbone storyline advances. We then moved on to that matchup between Kyle Fletcher and Shelton Benjamin, and it was a decent matchup that saw Kyle Fletcher defeat Shelton in 12:34 with a Grimstone. This match was designed to be the steal the show matchup. Sadly though, you can see there Shelton Benjamin has sustained a fractured cheekbone, so that's his second injury in the save so far. So 71 wrestling, 69 segment, storyline advances. To be fair though, Kyle Fletcher still producing a very good 85 rated performance, and he looked excellent. So yeah, maybe the Aussie Open run in this may not be lasting much longer. We'll see how long Shelton's out for. Words now from Eddie Kingston, and that will continue our war storyline with this 88 segment. Sunday saw me dispose of Claudio, and of course prior to that it was that little boy Wheeler Yuta. So next up, John, full gear. This is it, my man. You're the man I have to beat. You're the man I need to beat. I need to end the Death Riders and I need to save AEW. And I need to launch myself towards the AEW World Championship. I need all the momentum in the world going into that match, and that starts by eradicating you. Now just think, bud, how much I want it, which means how much I'm going to hurt you to make sure it happens. So I'm sorry in advance, but give Renee my best wishes. So obviously when Eddie came back, we had the match up with Okada, and obviously I lost. But I want to run a whole thing where he runs through the Death Riders, him and Moxley, and that's the matchup that's going to affect where Eddie goes. Is he ready to launch himself to the championship as though the wins he needed, or is he going to struggle? But 88, solid stuff again. And your main event, the event had some great wrestling and good heat. Kenny Omega defeats Brody King in 22-27 by pinfall, a 17th defence of the AEW Continental Championship, so Kenny is not giving that up so far. 82 for the wrestling, 71 for the crowd, 77 segment, 89 performance from Kenny Omega to Brody's 75. And we finish the show and we see Darby in the rafters, but this week he has a mic. You see Kenny Omega, this is the problem. Orange Cassidy, you treated him with respect and he got a title shot, he got notice. Brody King, sure, you respect that big bastard, but again, he got a whole night's notice. Where the hell was my notice? You disrespected me and waltzed in at last minute, and that sickens me. I'm a day one guy here in AEW. I climb Mount Everest and I put an AEW flag up there, and this is the shit you repay me with. It's such a lack of respect. So Kenny, you keep putting these challenges in, because at Full Gear, 1 month's full warning, I'm taking that championship and I'm sending you back to the hospital. So obviously Darby feels he's been disrespected by Kenny, obviously showing up at the last minute for that kind of matchup. But it's like, oh, you've gave Cassidy respect, you've gave Brody respect. Where's Darby Allin's respect? So we finished the show, a 78, increased the pop in 11 regions. So we're fine with the hotness of the storylines, so that's good. Obviously fans are disappointed more storylines didn't fill out the show, had dramatic stakes. So in theory, I could have extended the Kenny feud with one of those advanced storyline notes. But yeah, I'm still happy with that one. A 78 is still fine. As I say, some of the storylines have kicked off here, and quite a few will kick off in our next show in a few seconds, which will be Collision. We'll just see if there was any locker room incidents. Nope. Time for Collision. Now time for Collision. We are at the Edition Financial Arena, and we start the show with Bryan Danielson. He says, "Tonight gives me one more step towards fulfillment, as I can confirm that I am one of the competitors in the AEW World Championship Triple Threat No. 1 Contenders match tonight. After a great clash at Wrestledream with Takeshita, I believe I can still become a man who tops this company and tours the world as World Champion, and with you," and he's interrupted by Don Callis with Takeshita in tow. "Oh well, funny you say that, Danielson. You see, on Sunday you got lucky against Takeshita One lucky break and you took advantage and got the win. Well, we've discussed it, and Takeshita won't let that happen again. Look at the who's who this man is beaten here in AEW, and next up will be you, Bryan Danielson. And as for the third man, well, the third man, huh? Well, I guess that would be me. Of course it is Swerve Strickland, a former AEW World Champion, a former AEW World Tag Team Champion. If anyone knows about winning a big match with big stakes, it's Swerve. And just remember that I will do anything that it takes to make sure that I get the win. I will go to greater lengths than either of you could ever imagine, because after I win and I become champion, this will be whose house? Swerve's house. So there's your triple threat match main event for the number one contendership for the AEW World Championship. It will be the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita, and it will be, of course, Swerve Strickland. The segment got an 84, so that's a pretty good one. We automatically advance the world title storyline. We begin the You Cost Me storyline. The performance of Danielson was good. Swerve and Prince Nana, good chemistry. The angle idea was a success, so that's good to see as well. And both Swerve and Bryan benefiting from various things. So hopefully we should be getting a pop here with a stellar main event. But we're into the opening contest, and it was a decent wild brawl. And it was the team of Christian Cage and Cope who defeated the Workhorsemen. Of course, it is Anthony Henry and JD Drake in 7:52 when Cope pinned JD Drake with the spear. Some good performances there. Actually quite happy with Cope and Christian into the 70s. The wrestling was a 65. The segment as a whole, a 68. This led to our promo, first mostly from Cope. FTR, remember the quote that was dished around a long time ago? That's true. F you, the whole fuck the revival. We considered you both friends, allies, and what did you do to repay us? You first off take out our friend Chris Jericho, then you take me out, and then you take Jay out. And best of all, you decide that we're taking up your time, your opportunities. FTR, the day me and Christian get our hands on you is the day you get an opportunity, a chance to make it, because we will make you famous with the beating of a lifetime that we give you. Christian adds, FTR, you claim to be one of the most decorated and best tag teams of all time. Well, I mean, respectfully, you're looking at them, so enjoy your 5 minutes of fame in the ring with us, because we are the best tag team, then, now, forever. So try to get a few little catchphrases in there. So their storyline advances and gains heat, and the segment was a 66. Next up, we had a little squash match because Shanky wanted to appear, and I thought, you know what, that's fine. We'll have Rush destroy him. Wild brawl, Rush wins in 5:28 with a Rush driver. A 58 overall, Shanky with a 16, Rush with 87, holy crap. Match suffered from lack of selling, Rush shone in the match, and Shanky was rusty. But yeah, just a squash match. Next up, we have a little vignette with Mariah May. A few months has been far too long for me not to have gold around my waist. Well, it's time to change that. And I see that a woman that I know very well just may be in for a grand sequel. If that doesn't hint to where we're going with that, then I don't know what will. But Mariah May, 75 rated segment, and it also had her enjoying going off script, but she is getting a little bit stale. So I'll keep a note on that, make sure I fix that. But 75, solid stuff. Little segment backstage, and it is AJ Styles with Nick Wayne. Nick, what's the problem, man? You've done nothing but sulk after last week. Like, don't worry about me. I gave the world title my best shot. It wasn't good enough on the day, but it helped that spark. A spark that can help keep me strong and help you develop. And Nick says, AJ, whilst it's nice, I have a massive match tonight with Kevin Steen, and I want to prove that I can do this on my own. So a 62 segment. The future is now storyline has started with a segment. But yeah, Nick Wayne, Kevin Steen later on tonight. Then I had a decent matchup that saw Orange Cassidy defeat Wheeler Yuta in 9:38 with a beach break. Storytelling matchup. Yuta is just on a horror run at the moment, beaten up by Moxley, seems to be everywhere. The wrestling here was a 69. The segment at 74. Yuta was really off his game, and despite the pretty good chemistry, Yuta only brought a 60. to OC's 77. Yuta's then in the backstage area when he bumps into Eddie Kingston, and he basically said, Yuta, what the hell has happened to you, man? You went from taking Bryan 60 minutes to being reduced to this. What the hell has John done to you? Even when you fought me, this ain't the Yuta, I know, and how you can look mad, you can try and attack me. I'll backfist you so hard you'll get knocked out. So don't get pissed off, do something about it, change the mindset, sort your future out. So Yuta's just been thrown about the place. As Yuta walks away from Kingston, he passes MJF, Ricky Starks and Wardlow, and then MJF has that wee smarky comment of, oh god, boys, look, it's loser Yuta. Yuta goes to square up to MJF, but he instantly backs down at the presence of Wardlow, and he goes, I thought so, kid. Maybe it's time you align yourself with the right people. MJF smirks and walks off. So not going well for Wheeler Yuta. The backbone storyline advances, but lost heat. Yeah, MJF was good here. Eddie was good. Yuta was terrible. Come on, Yuta. So your shout. 65. Oh, this went really well. Probably should have done it at a pay-per-view. Bout that had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from our audience as Bayley from Money Corporation defeated Jamie Hayter in 15:08 by using underhanded tactics. The wrestling was a 79 here. The segment was an 80. Jamie brought an 85. Fantastic from her. And Bayley a 73. This led to a little promo after it from the head of the Money Corporation, Mercedes Moné, flanked of course by Bayley, Nixon and Sky Blue. Let this be a lesson to all of you losers out there. This is how strong the Money Corporation is. So Willow, Becky, Io, you can join forces with this loser Jamie, but you will not come close to us. You will never take this championship away from me. And then of course insert that very evil Mercedes Moné laugh. So their storyline advances. Bayley came out of it looking excellent. Nixon and Sky were pretty poor, but we need to work with them. This is going to help their development. And this segment was a 62. Then at the bout they had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Nick Wayne defeats Kevin Steen in 10:36 by pinfall with a quick roll-up. Made this the Steal the Show matchup. Now you're wondering why is Kevin Steen putting over Nick Wayne? Kevin Steen came up to me with a promise to put him over. That was going to expire next week. But also feeds into that thing, does Nick Wayne really need AJ Styles? So a 74 for the wrestling, a 63 for the crowd, and a 74 segment. Both guys pretty similar in terms of performance. Kevin Steen's then pissed off in the backstage area and just goes, I cannot believe this. How the hell have I lost to a bloody kid? What the hell is wrong with me? This isn't right. This has to get fixed. Then you know that way Kevin Owens always does, or Kevin Owens is now, Kevin Steen always does that big kind of arg scream kind of thing when he gets frustrated. He does that. Steen then turns around and he sees Orange Cassidy just snigger in the background, who then walks off. And then you just have that kind of, oh yeah, you think this is funny? We'll see about that from Kevin Steen. So you can see where that program's going to go. 75 rated segment. And your main event, it's a shame. Not as good as the Takeshita Bryan matchup. Of course, that had the whole motivated roster at the pay-per-view. But superb wrestling, good heat. Bryan Danielson defeats Swerve Strickland and Konosuke Takeshita in 29:11 when Bryan pins Swerve with a running knee. 89 for the wrestling, 72 crowd, 86 segment overall, not too bad. Bryan at 92, Swerve 85, Takeshita 91. There's two storylines advanced. The U-Cosmo storyline gains heat. It's obvious where that's going to go. Next line probably gives that away as well. And Bryan was off his game. So if you're getting a 92 and you're off your game, you can see why we're utilising Bryan Danielson as much as we can before he breaks down. So, and also, just a matter of Bryan Danielson, Kazuchika Okada to main event Full Gear. The show finished with an 84, and this didn't result in any popularity changes. So actually that's not too bad. As I say, we maybe lacked a high promo. The matches were very, very good. I think the best promo was an 84. But we're at a position where in terms of popularity we're 82. So we really need a spectacular show in the States to get that any further. In Collision, I haven't put that on the network, so we don't get the boost of across the world. I feel like it's fine with Dynamite. Collision, I went on to make it that wee bit more trickier, because if we had that, we'd be gaining pop everywhere, which obviously would have helped us get to the highest level. But overall, Solid show, sets up a few things going forward. I think it's clear the direction we're going for a few matches to Full Gear, and we'll still get like over a full month to book it. So let's get some heat in those storylines. Any locker room incidents? None. Let's jump to the main screen. Let's look over the B shows. So we'll finish up with our roundup of our B shows and just see what's happening in the world of wrestling. I'll be honest, we'll probably will bring Nakamura in. It won't be for like a push or anything, it'll probably just to have some dream matches in there. I think, honestly, if you look at him skills wise, there is some good stats in there. Obviously, the technical side of things, just in general, as all went down. You know, Perescu is probably his highest at 70. The psychology could be vital at 83, and obviously charisma could help us at 88 as well. Troublesome shoulder doesn't help, and obviously quite banged up as well, and 45. But I think we can bring him in. We won't bring him in straight away. We'll let him become an official free agent before we poach him, because there's no massive desire to get him in straight away. So maybe into the start of 2026. But apart from that, I couldn't see too much that directly affect us over the course of here. We'll check this decision. And it is a contract renewal for Jerry Lynn, so that's fine. And because we have plenty of money, accept the pay rise for Mike Posey, for Alex Windsor, so they're obviously getting more over. Arisa Nakajima and Nixon Newell. So in Nixon's case, you can see she's up 4 in brawling, she's up 9 in Perescu, 8, or Puroescu, I don't know how to pronounce it, 8 in hardcore, 1 in technical, 2 in aerial, and 2 in flashiness. Our psychology's up 4, our experience is up 2, and our respect's up 1, and our reputation's up 4. From the performance side of things, charisma 2, microphone 2, acting 2, star quality and sex appeal and menace remain the same. And 6 in basics, 1 in selling, 10 in consistency, and 8 in safety. And from a physical point of view, 6 in stamina, athleticism, power, resilience and toughness all stay the same. But that's good, you can see she's developing. Obviously we're pretty much a year into the save now, so workers will start to develop well. And from a point of view of popularity, 36 up to a 47, and well, across the board in the US, so she's up 11, so that's pretty good. When did we actually sign her? So we've only had her since July as well, so I'd say we've done some good work with putting her with Bailey, Mercedes and Sky Blue in the Money Corporation. But yep, you can have your pay rise as well. Looking to extend Mason Madden, he'll mostly be enhancement. Just obviously advising us of Nakamura. Collision was a 1.45. Shockwave get 2.7 million viewers. And Mercedes Money says Anthony Henry needs to learn to sell. He's not really going to push, so don't worry about that, Mercedes. So we'll conclude with the B shows with a rundown of what I booked on them. Rampage, we started with Thekla defeating Sari in a 46. We had some words from Ricky Starks, which was a 67, before he went on to defeat AR Fox in a 69. We had some words from Anna Jay, which was a 52. Kyle O'Reilly defeated Blake Christian in a 60. We had some words from Priscilla Kelly and Chris Statlander, it was a 68. Before our main event saw Keith Lee and Mike Bailey pick up the win over the Kingdom in a 67. So when you see angles like this, it's trying to help some of our younger talent develop both technically, but also at the same time in terms of their charisma, etc. So that's why you'll see a lot of Anna Jay, Priscilla Kelly, the younger talents that we feel we can help develop. And if we move to Shockwave, Money Corporation's Nixon Newell and Sky Blue defeated Danny Luna and Mercedes Martinez in a 57. I feel working with Mercedes can only benefit them. Words from the Undisputed Kingdom's Cole O'Reilly and Fish was a 60. More words from Anna Jay in a 61 before she defeated Ryo Mizunami in a 55. Billy Starks defeated Serena Deeb in a 62. A bit more tension between the Acclaimed as a 70. I don't know if I want to split them because I just feel I got lost in the shuffle. Megan Bain defeated Maya Yamashita in a 79. Spectacular stuff there. Before we decided to end the vendetta when Megan Bain and Taya Valkyrie had some words. That's a 58. Obviously, the third member Dion is on maternity leave. There is a plan for Megan Bain, so that's why we've just disbanded that. Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Johnny Gargano, remember him, in a 72 before some words from Hobbs was a 66. And then your main event, Dante Martin defeated Wheeler Yuta and a 71, and then Wheeler Yuta continues to descend into madness in a 56 rated ending segment. So a 70 for Shockwave and a 66 for Rampage. Done the job. So we get 35 days, so that's 5 weeks on the road to Full Gear. So plenty of time to get people and storylines over. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Remember to check out the Fantasy Booker subreddit, Grey Dog Software forums, twdb.com and bethebooker.net. And a wee thumbs up would be appreciated as well. But take it easy, and hopefully see you next time for some more TW with AEW. Bye bye.